Hello everyone and welcome to the map Ghost River. Joining me here today, kicking off game number 1 of the September Viewer Challenge. A red Zerg player canceling both eggs and buildings, it would seem. It is Khan. Obligatory. Why not? I hate that extractor too. And their opponent, the other side of the map, the blue Protoss here, the upper right corner belonging to Skiemk. Team Void. Excellent picture. I do like that. Not too sure if I should support and endorse this team, but I kind of like their picture. What was your picture? What is this? The Lurker? Oh, I have to support and endorse that one. Lurker and or Viper. Obviously, you guys know me. You've been around long enough. Alright, Viewer Challenge. Info, Alarak. Chop chop.
I hesitate to think what you would do without me.
Very well. Fine then. The Viewer Challenge for this month. I bid my viewers to disregard their keyboards for the time. Yes, mouse only. Yes, this fantastic device that was given to us by somebody that I don't certainly remember their name, but it was probably something mouse or mice, because everybody names everything after themselves at this point. So, besides the point, you were allowed left click, right click, scroll wheel, and middle click by extension, and 2 side buttons, because I know y'all out here with your fancy mice, okay, binding everything to those side buttons, defeating the purpose of the challenge. No, absolutely not. Now you might be thinking, Indigos, how can you tell who's actually the part of the challenge? You know, who's only using their mouse? That's a great question. I'm going with a little bit of an honor system set up here because I know my beautiful viewers, you all, you're the most honorable, the most intelligent of folk. You don't need to cheat to impress me, okay? You guys are awesome all on your own. I believe in you. I'm also reasonably confident that they both could be at this point. One of the key factors I will say is the APM. Because, you know, if somebody's out here at 300 actions per minute, they're probably not just using their mouse. That's a little unrealistic. 60 though? 50? Not that far-fetched, actually. I'm trying to think about how I would go about it. Certainly don't want to have to be going around doing a lot of 7 base, 7 hatch injects with just my mouse, for sure. The compositions, I think, might show a little choice in the usage here, because you don't want to go something that's very micro-intensive. Like, you don't want to make Ling Bane, for example. A lot of Banes, because you'd have to manually click the E to make them into Banes. No way. Instead, how about a fleet beacon at the 3-minute mark? Let's get some carriers out here. I agree. +1 air attack on the other side of the Zerg so far. Khan strengthening their hold on the region, shall we say, with their empire, is going for a lair. Roach Warren. So far, just a couple of roaches. Okay, we're just dabbling in the roach tech. I do like the spore crawler timing. That was actually really on point. You better than even I am with the spores, because I'm very forgetful about them. Now, yeah, Ling speed a little late there, a little slow on the Ling speed take, and it's really not going to help a whole lot, I think, when carriers show themselves. Now, have you seen this? You definitely could have. You've seen the fleet beacon. You have the potential to... Oh, I'm sorry, that's not an overseer. That's a dropper lord. Okay then. Quick to the other one. instead of just dropping this one. Oh my gosh, the struggle. I'm telling you, they both could be using just their mice. I'm not sure. I'm not convinced. Zerg Force is going to get distracted by that pylon. The carrier's about to come out. That's too many pylons even for them to shoot through. You're better off going for the probes at this point. Probes will be pulled slightly. Carrier has arrived. Interceptors will start to deal with that. The Ling Roach will try to make their great escape. Carriers, of course, able to hit overlords as well, though not going to work out too well, I think. The Lings go back for the probes, which I think is probably the best decision that you could make at this point. Now, we're going to go for the pylon. This is not going to supply block the Protoss. This is not going to unpower any buildings. But you know what it does do? Makes the Zerg feel good. And that's probably what matters most at this point in time for the Zerg. Carrier number 2 has arrived, has shown itself. Oh god. Carriers. You know, thinking about this challenge, when I set it up, when I made the image, you know, I didn't quite think that this would be how somebody responded. You know, maybe just, oh, okay, it's fine. I'll just sit back and make carriers, for example, because that's very easy to do with just my mouth. You're not wrong. Totally fine per the requirements, per the regulations. I just didn't foresee the creativity there. +2 attack on the way. Hydra Den about to finish up with our larva count. Nowhere near enough to deal with carriers. Absolutely not. Zerg's APM rising a bit. That's mostly because we're making 7 spore crawlers at this exact moment. The carriers finally make their way over here. The spore crawlers far too late to actually be able to stop them. A couple of them will finish up here. Queen trying to help out. She's commanding the spores with her charismatic presence, of course. Go after the queen. Could go after the Hydra Den too. Oh, I think so. I think that's the thought. 13 Hydras on the way, and that was really quick to be mouse clicked, so I'm starting to have my suspicions. Either way, have 13 Hydras, the Hydra Den's going to be destroyed, which is going to really complicate the defense here, unless these Hydras can actually clean up the carriers. And so far, it's just carriers. I'll say I like to trash talk Hydras as much as the next guy, but when they spawn right underneath the carrier, and it's just carriers, that's actually pretty good. It's going to be far too much. There's no recall. Do you recall? I suppose not. These Nexuses have full... one of them's at full energy, which is not that great. Either way, no recall goes out. Why recall when I could just make more carriers? Look, if there's 2 carriers at home, Indigos, I practically recalled, okay? I saved 2 carriers. Like, not really, but I guess I see your point there. The Hydras go across, no upgrades, not even a replacement Hydra Den yet. Might as well just send them across, throw them away. I like it. The confidence. I love your gumption, son. But you're in way over your head here. Said by a great and morally questionable Terran leader. No, we're not. Please don't tell me we're going to do another... Oh, God. You can attack the front door, you know. Like, there is a ground path. Well, this is going to really make things a little awkward here. There's 4 carriers. Luckily, they get distracted by the Overlord that was just transporting Zerglings, actually. No Hydras made their way into the Overlord there. 3rd Stargate added on. I am definitely gonna speed this up a little bit. While the carrier count grows and the Zerg continues to not really mount a solid response like Spire. I don't... There's only so much I can help you. You're making 10 Overlords with no Spire. Finally getting some Hydra upgrades, but it's not going to work out super well. Did I see an infestation pit? There is an infestation pit. Hey, so it's the microbial shroud, the forbidden spell. That would work. Hydra Infester, totally fine. fungal growth, microbial shroud, or just scare the Protoss with their presence. Make him think you're gonna knurl the carriers. Totally fine. Speaking of the carriers, of course, there's 7 now. One of them lagging behind Timmy catch up. You got better jet engines on that thing. You can make it. Spore crawlers galore. 24 spores? What? Oh my god. That's a lot of spores. No. Really? Well, these carriers are starting to have a field day with the Zerg side of the map, and considering our defense at this point, Khan investing more into the static, well, slightly static infrastructure of Zerg spore crawlers instead of hydralisks or corruptors is not going to be supremely great, I think. It depends on the engagement, of course. If the Protoss can get to a spot, where the Hydras maybe can't hit the carriers, great, totally fine. Spores shifting around in the main base. A couple will be picked off. The Hydras do make their way over here. Have to zoom out a little bit just to get all the carriers. Oh, start to pick off the interceptors. I like the choice. Where's my fungal growth? Where's my microbial shroud? It's not here. It's gone. The Hydras start to get distracted, go after the individual carriers, but this position is fantastic for the Protoss. I will say just able to pull back the injured carrier. Zerg no longer able to mount much of a response. I'm not even sure where the Hydra Den is. It's still alive, but it's not going to matter. GG going to be called the Protoss. Skiemk the victor. Mouse only challenge ending 79 average actions per minute. With just the mouse, I am impressed, although I will say the composition definitely lends itself. So you won this more from the mind, from the brain point of view. You went into this with a plan, and I like that. I respect that. Onwards now to the next match of the day. For the second match of the day, we find ourselves on the map Post-Youth. The light pink Zerg here, spawning into the upper right corner. It is Paprika. 2 eyes. And their green Zerg opponent here, the bottom left corner, belongs to Masio PL. Custom colors. Pink and green, that means this was a custom match, but that's okay. Completely fine and allowed. I'm actually even more curious about that then. Like, are you both doing the challenge? Are these 2 friends? I see they're teammates. SAON. And yeah, they're teammates at the very least. Clanmates, I should say. But is one of them playing a bit sneakily, suspiciously, adhering to the challenge while the other does not know? Are they both doing it? Perhaps we'll see over time. Either way, just have an enjoyable, entertaining ZVZ, I hope. That I also hope goes longer than, 3 minutes. We'll say it very likely should, because nobody is making a flood of Zerglings or even a Bane Nest right now. We've got a Roach Warren, which is a very mouse-only friendly building. Okay, I greatly agree with the choice of the Roach Warren. Queens do pop out. Injects galore. Post-Youth, of course, with its special partially gold base here. Get the drones going on those gold minerals. Or not. Specifically go for the blue ones. Huh? Did you rally here? You rallied here. Okay then. Very well. I mean, they'll get there eventually, sure, but they're going to prioritize the blue ones. Maybe that's the goal. Maybe that's the plan, Indigos. I'm saving the gold minerals for later. That would be a big brain move, I suppose. Make sure you have those gold minerals when it matters the most, when you're trying to get, I guess, Ultralisks out at the 9-minute mark. Bane Nest actually is on the way for the green Zerg at this point, which feels like an ambitious choice given the nature of this challenge. I mentioned initially in the last match, I probably wouldn't want to go very heavy Banes, personally. It's a lot of roaches, and definitely wouldn't want to go a lot of Banes at that point. The Lings make their way up the ramp, but leave just as quickly because they also don't particularly want to fight roaches when it's a 1-to-1 ratio of Ling to roach. That is definitely not Ling favor at all there. The only thing the Lings could really do is try to run right on by, run past the roaches, because their little roach legs don't have their glial reconstituted yet. The glial is very much original constitution, which is inferior, as Abathur might say. Inefficient. Yeah, there we go. Both of them are getting layers at this point. Pneumatized carapace on the way for the green. I like the choice. Is it for scouting? Is it for drops? Is it for changeling run-bys by overseers? We'll have to see. The choice for the pink is going to be a third base, which is definitely up on supply thanks to the compositional choice of roaches. The Overlord convention here, making sure everybody gets together. It says their plan for the day before they go out to Overlord. I was going to say oversee Zerg operations, but they're not overseers, so we'll kind of just abandon that one. Speed this up a bit here. They're both taking very long macro turns. I don't normally see green Zerg. Green is one of the team game colors, isn't it? When do we start to see it? Is it 4v4? Because I want to say with 2v2 it adds on teal and purple. 1v1 of course red blue. Then we have teal purple for 2v2. You add in 3v3, it's I want to say orange and yellow. Is that right? Oh, this is just an Overlord scout who is apparently making a very one-way trip. Overlord just threw him away for queens. Turn him into an overseer. Make a changeling. What are you doing throwing away your overlords like this? Come on. Where was that? 3v3. It adds on, I think, orange and yellow, which means it must be 4v4 that gets green and... Is it pink? Is it light pink that gets added on for 4v4? I want to say so, but I'll be honest, guys. 4v4 was never really my thing, okay? I'm a 1v1 player. I don't do well in those social team situations, so 4v4 gave me some serious anxiety. Keep on trucking here, though. The compositions, I mean, we still got a lot of roaches for pink, and neither one actually seems intent on engaging with the other. The APMs still well within reasonable mouse-only estimates, I will say. They both could be participating for the challenge. A lot of OVs on the way for green, heavily supply blocked, of course. Anybody getting hive yet? No. Whoa, the flight of the overlords. the rally. Nobody rallies them individually when we're just working our mouse. I agree. That was a lot of Banes really quickly. Suspicious. Lurker Den on the way for green. We still haven't really had... There's only been one overlord lost, really? What are these Banes gonna do? Send them to the drone line. Drone line. What? What was that? You just... God. Banelings. Like, at least make sure you're gonna kill the building. Instead, you just emotionally traumatized this hatchery. Haven't actually done anything real damage-wise. Good grief. Well, lurkers. Much better choice. I'm gonna say, let's see how you handle lurkers. Let's get some of the... Oh, we doing lurker drops. Oh, Dark, is that you? Oh. Here we go. Oh yeah, bring it on. Lurker drops, finally. What, are we dropping our own base? Nope, not looking good. Pink just kill one of their own Ovies? I think so. Pink suddenly supply blocked. Oh god, these are the lurker ones. Drop them. Drop the lurkers. Pink finally decides to make their move, sends their army across, focusing down the building a little bit here. Some reinforcements on the way. I think I saw the Ultra Cavern finish up. Lurkers, a little tough to see them behind all of these overlords, but they are here. They are going to burrow, which means they'll really be quite fine, I think. Able to hold the high ground. The lanes, well, yeah, this is not a good fight for Pink. Zerg, do not go up the ramp. I tell you, don't go up the ramp versus siege tanks, okay? Lurkers, practically a Zerg siege tank. It's kind of siege tank adjacent. There's an argument to be had, I suppose, between the swarm host and the lurker, but we won't get into that debacle at this point. Ultras on the way. Clicking around, I like it. Chitinous plating, +3 attack. Green, completely forgetting that upgrades exist, it would seem, is going to be quite a factor, I feel. They're trying to focus on this lurker drop, which has so far been decorative. Okay, that's fine. He couldn't fit in the Overlord, he might as well burrow, because we don't have any other dropper-equipped lords, do we? No. Absolutely not, Indigos. This is the only Overlord that's licensed. Okay, credentials obtained, he passed the test to leave the base. What about this one? He's an Overseer, okay? They kind of get, like, streamlined up the chain. It's a bureaucracy thing you wouldn't understand, obviously. He's allowed to leave the base, too. But this one, he did the work, okay? He put in the hours, he passed the test, he's got the lurkers. He's now going to make his way over to the Pink base. Harass this now very much mined out base, but there's still some drones here. Oh god, burrow. It's a struggle. The queen running away. Lurkers, oh, do they get sidetracked? I think so. They get distracted by the Ultra, which is only gonna go one way. Ooh, the bones. Ooh. Okay then, well, I'm gonna have to say the lurker drop not looking like a game-winning move. Not going to be quite spirit-crushing. They both have banks that my bank account could never hope of looking like, even in its wildest bank account dreams. Average APM still well within the range. I fully believe that at least one of these players is making decisions akin to using just their mouse, among other related choices and decisions. This army is going to completely crush those lurkers. Ultras aside, 3-3 Roach Hydra in any sort of mass field. There were only 8 lurkers, okay? That's like 1/10 of the lurkers that you would probably need to stop this at this point with 0 upgrades. The Zerg Force is going to get on top of the lair. The match looks like it's going to be ending with about explosive as an end as I guess I could have hoped for at this point. The Bane Nest, the spawning pool, there's just no hope. And no GG either. They're going to tap out, get out of here, you green Zerg. Pink, clearly the victor, clearly the winner of this match. At the end of it all, I'll say the actions per minute, I stand by my statement, okay? At least one of these players was making decisions that rival using just your mouse. And it shows. I'm going to say well done. Congratulations, of course, to the victor. Thank you for the submission. And thank you all so much for watching, of course. I hope you have a great day.